Meatloaf!
I am absolutely,
He was
I'm
into it.
sorry, I am in love with this
You
record.
were into it. I saw you.
I am so into this. This is all 13 songs. I've heard, you know, usually when you make a record, you'll make the record, and you'll listen to the mixes, and you'll take them in your car, and you listen to, that's where you go to judge mixes, at least I do, in the car, and you make your adjustments, and then you master, and then they get the test, and you listen to them, and you know, you might listen once or twice and make some more little adjustments, and then you're done. I've heard this album 150 times. I sit, I go in a hotel room, and I'm getting ready, I'm going, I got nothing to do. I'm going to listen to the record. And I just keep listening to it. Peace on Earth, Living on the Outside, Like a Rose, and it just gets Song of Mad. I mean, it just keeps going.
See, that's got to be a great feeling, though. You made it, you listen to it, and then you don't go, you know, I should have done this. I should have done that.
No, there's not a single thing I'd change on this record. Nothing. And that's really hard to say. And I've listened over and over and over again.
And you
keep
are
going,
a perfectionist.
Oh, I'm past perfectionist.
Huge.
Because I hear flaws and I hear mistakes, but you know what? I'm not going to change them because they're perfect inside what we're doing. And I keep listening to it, keep going, well, there must be something in here I'd change. But what happens is, the way we did it with James Michael and Rick Brantley and all these guys are with bands. James Michael's 6 a.m.
Oh, right.
Rick Brantley's got his own band. Eric Nally's in a band called Foxy Shazam.
Yep.
Jake Shearer's in a band. I can't remember his band. He's coming out in Atlantic in June, and he wrote that song. And we kind of had them all together working in July, and it was kind of like a camp. And it was like kind of rock camp.
Hang Cool Teddy Bear
It was
camp.
the Hang Cool Teddy Bear camp. And we put this together, this whole story, but I never told him what the story was, which was the most interesting part of it. And so Switchfoot.
Yep.
Well, the guy from Switchfoot came out one night for dinner. We played in the record, and he goes, God, I got to get in on this. And so he got in it. And the second verse, because all the songs, when you really start to analyze them, they start talking back to each other, and they echo the one that came from before, and they intertwine, and they
You go in one direction, you think you're going this way, then you go that way.
Yeah, they all talk back to each other, and he because I've got a song on here called California Isn't Big Enough for Me, which, you know, when they go, and I've been saying this, it's like if you put like you bleeped out that word on that song, and then California Isn't Big Enough, there's another inappropriate word they say, so we have an explicit sticker. And I go, yeah, anytime you put something like that on a record, everybody goes, oh my gosh, can you believe what they said on that record? And meanwhile, you know, everybody's watching The Godfather, calling it the greatest movie that ever made, and they're cutting off heads and they're shooting people, and then they go to see Friday the 13th and they're hacking up, and then they go, honey, let's get little Junior that game about mugging. You know, mugging 5. Let him get out on the streets of New York and mug some people. Junior, you having fun? How many people you mugged so far in that video game? Did you get them? Did you get all their money? Are they dead? You know, and then but the music, yeah. Well, we'll let him play Mugger 5, but do not let him hear that Meatloaf record. They got them 2 swear words on there. Holy smoke. Oh, man, he's got them swear words on that record. I cannot believe it.
I actually am getting a little acting from me. This is more than I bargained for today.
And I mean, but it's just like, the most hypocritical, insane thing ever. So anyway, California Isn't Big Enough is a really funny song. And in the story, what happens, the guy is so crazy, he starts stalking and falling in love with a hooker. And that's what... But anyway, so what we did with Switchfoot, the guy, I had him rewrite the second verse for me. So the second verse comments upon the whole album. If history is violence and sex, I'd rather not pay my respects. Forgive me if I'm too direct or politically incorrect. I'm just running away from me. And so it just, I'm telling, and then John Bon Jovi.
And Johnny Bon wrote something.
Yeah, he wrote a song called Elvis in Vegas with him and Billy Falcon. And it's because Patrick in the album is 24 years old and he's the soldier, and his life on that part does flash back, even though in the story he does live, but he flashes back to when Now, it doesn't say he left New Jersey, but John's from New Jersey, so I assumed, as I'm doing my backstory for the character, that he left New Jersey and he just had to go through Memphis to get to Vegas. And I saw it through the eyes of about a 15-year-old kid making his way through Memphis into Vegas. I changed a few of the lyrics, which John probably doesn't know about yet, but that's okay, because to fit the story a little bit better, and to make the kid, his eyes a little more wide open in the story. But yeah, John Bon Jovi, Elvis in Vegas, and I said to John, I said, how come you haven't recorded this? And he, oh, there's nobody can record this but Meatloaf. And I said, yeah, and I got some bridges in New York I'll sell you for 10 cents, John.